Obviously, I can hear. First, let me start with this explanation again. The bill is set at 25 million. In the first instance, he has three sureties, two to be justified with landed property. In the second instance, which is worth 10 million, so the first 15 million, the second one 10 million, same three, one of them to be justified with the same landed property. What does that mean?
Are there different offenses that he's in charge with?
Yes, different offenses with different facts, set of facts.
Oh, okay. In different courts or the same court?
It sounds like the same court, yes. No, different courts actually. Two different courts.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I'm not too well apprised with the various issues, except I think the latest.
Okay.
Once the bail condition is set in a certain farm with sureties to justify, then the sureties will definitely have to provide some property or landed property of value to be at least commensurate with the farm so stated.
So when they said landed property, it means that you have to have properties close to the value.
Yes, although ordinarily no valuation is done.
Okay. No valuation is done.
I've not seen an instance where valuation of the property is done, but at least the police or the prosecution will satisfy themselves that the surety owns the property by reason of documents that are furnished and verified.
I see. In this case, the first one, they said two sureties to be justified. Does that mean, what really does that mean? For both, they have to find properties?
Each of them will have to find property individually or maybe jointly. If they don't own the property together, then they will have to individually furnish evidence of that property and ownership.
And also, is it rare to have a man facing charges on two different issues which are related? They are both mining matters before two separate courts.
It is not uncommon at all. What it means is that the incident took place probably at different locations, maybe related to mining, but maybe at different locations.
I see. And of course, the interesting discussion we'll be having is that the first one actually has to do with arrests that were made April this year. People were found on his concession. It was subsequently, they are claiming that when the people perhaps told them that they gave them permission to mine those concessions, and they had no authority to do so. Yes.
So such individuals themselves will be charged because they were involved in an activity that is prohibited by law. They may be charged individually or collectively with those who permitted them.
So there will be separate charges brought against the people who were found on a concession, and then the other charges leveled against, what do they call it, Chairman Wontumi and Apunta Mining.
Yes, that's what it appears to be. I think the first incident where certain individuals were rounded up on the concession, a separate charge or charges were, a set of charges were preferred against those individuals arrested and the facilitated or those who permitted them to be on the concession. I don't know. I haven't seen the particular charge sheet in relation to this first arrest. It could be that the owner of the concession, that is the Abuja Mining or Wontumi, who either have to identify himself with the people or say he doesn't even know or sanction their activities, but they were there on their own. Nonetheless, an offense has been committed, and I think the Attorney General will know who exactly is charged with what offense, given the evidence that is available to them. The second one is what I'm aware of, the one that involved Chairman Wontumi and his co-director of the Abuja Mining and the Abuja Mining itself, being the three accused persons that I have seen the charge sheet.
When you say the second one, are you talking about the one that involves the entry into Tanonim Forest?
Well, I haven't looked at the fact, but the one that they have been charged with 6 counts of offenses.
Okay, and I think that's related to the April arrest. What you were just talking about.
Okay, so that has to do with the offenses involving assignment of mining rights to third parties who were mining, and then what do you call it, purposely facilitating such mining activities. I'm aware of that. I've seen that charge sheet.
And what do you think?
Without sounding prejudicial, knowing that the matter now has come to court, it's no longer in the public domain for discussion. What I have seen, the offenses on their face, or if you look at them on the surface, you think that they were trivial, but they carry very grave consequences. It's proven.
They carry grave consequences if proven.
That is what I have seen. In fact, there were 2 offenses. You have 6 counts of offenses. That is assignment of mineral rights without approval of the minister. That's 1 count. And the first accused person, being Chairman Wontumi, was charged with this assignment without approval of the minister. His other director, who is the second accused, was charged with the same offense in a different count. And then the company itself, the Abuja Mining Company Limited, was also charged with the same offense. And the second offense having to do with purposely facilitating an unlicensed mining operation. The first accused again, Chairman Wontumi, was charged with 1 count. His co-director was charged in the same manner, and the company itself. So in all, you have 6 counts of offenses in this particular regard.
And the part about a company being charged during a criminal trial, I have always struggled to understand. Once you've brought the principals to face the music, why add the company?
The company is a person. It's a legal person. And the company assumes criminal liability. The company can be prosecuted. The only thing a company cannot do is, if found guilty, the company cannot serve a prison term. But the company can pay a fine so imposed or other consequential orders can be directed at the company. When it comes to prison terms, it is the directors and the officers of the company that pay the penalty in terms
The other part that has to do with the entry into the Tanoni rainforest, and I know, I recall maybe at the time, perhaps we spoke to you, but it's about 3 years now. Yeah, how important is it that charges have been brought on this matter? Because at the time, the words used were clear. What he did was illegal, even by an MPP minister.
Well, it seems immaterial that the offenses were committed 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. The important thing is to ascertain whether at the time those activities were carried out, there was any offense known to the law. In other words, whether those activities were prohibited activities under the law constituting an offense. If the law existed at the time and the offense existed, then there is no time bar. It doesn't matter at all. What matters is whether there existed a law creating an offense at the time of the activity.
There existed a law.
Yes.
That bars what you did.
Exactly so.
There's a fact that LIZ LI 2462 was subsequently passed that allowed entry into the forest. Does it in any way help his case?
If the airline, what do you call it? Remember that the offenses being charged now will not disregard the fact that offenses could still be committed even when an activity is allowed. The Minerals and Mining Act of 2016, as amended by the 2019 Act 995, pursuant to which that airline may have been made, are not granted, what do you call it, permission to persons to have a license and mine anyhow. Okay? The activities are strictly regulated under the law. And the same laws also created offenses. And therefore, one will be under a very false impression that as soon as an activity is permitted and you are granted a license, then you could do anything. No. Offenses will still be committed within the limits of, or the permissible limits of the permit that is granted. For example, you have a concession and you have a license to mine. But the law says that you cannot transfer, assign, or create any kind of encumbrance, in other words, a charge on your concession or your right, your mining right granted. You cannot transfer to another, a third person or a third party without a prior written consent of the minister. So although you have that license and a concession to mine, and you have the right also to transfer or assign to a third party, you need the minister's prior written consent or authorization to do so. So when you engage third parties by way of any transfer or assignment or otherwise engaging third parties to carry out an activity without satisfying the requirement of a prior written consent or authorization from the minister, an offense has been committed.
Does the person involved is the person involved also worthy of notice? That rarely do we see people who have the muscle financial muscle, and this one he has both financial muscle and political muscle. I'm sure he knows a lot of people within this administration. It could have prevailed on. Does him being arrested and facing the music also have a huge bearing on perhaps the fight against illegal mining and using the law as a deterrent?
I don't think the person's social standing, financial muscle, political clout matters in this case. However, when the law is beginning to take a bite on the most powerful and the untouchables of society, it sends a clear signal to those of us down there without any such connection to be careful.
I see. Laura, thank you. Thank you very much for making time to speak to us this morning.
You're welcome, Senna. But before you go,
okay,
may I extend my personal condolence to the radio team and management. I heard about the passing of one of your colleagues. I've not met him before, but his program has registered so much of my mind, especially the timing, the late morning show post of Jamie Ajimba. In fact, he surprised many people on their birthdays, put them on air without them knowing, and surprised them with gifts, and it was just an amazing, and the loss is so great, and my heart felt condolence with you and the his family as well. I understand the book of condolence has been open.
Yes, and we are looking forward to seeing you here.
I am going to make it to your end by all means. And the bobo that you played this morning touched my heart even more. Thank you for the opportunity, Senna. Have a good morning.
Thank you. As always, we really do appreciate it. David Ametefe explaining a few things to us. He's always very, very helpful, helping us clarify some of those issues when they do come up. This is Lawyer Andy Apia Kubi speaking.